Hey guys, I'm gonna show you how to do fonts in processing. How do you put text on your screen? Probably a lot of you guys are asking about that. I'm gonna show you a few things in here: how to put text on your screen and how to use the color selector. Okay, so I have some code in here already. The only thing this code does is it creates a grid on the processing screen. Okay, so I'll show you that. I'm gonna go ahead and run it real quick so you can see. That's the grid right there. Now I want that on there so you can see exactly where I'm going to place this text. Okay, so that's my screen there, and this is the code that allows the computer to make that grid on the screen. We haven't really got that far yet, and it's not important for you to know. But down here, I want to put in how are you going to do fonts and text on your screen. Okay, on the screen of your computer, or on the canvas in your processing. Okay, so I'm going to put the code for the text right in here. It's going to show up on my screen. Okay, so there's 3 steps that you have to complete in order to use text. I'm going to go through each one. So step 1 is going to be to create the font. So the way that you do that is you put in the data type of the font. The data type of the font is P font. Okay, so this P font right here is just a data type. There are many different types of data in processing, or in Java, in programming in general. But in processing, P font is the actual data type of the font that you're going to use. So that's all you need to know about it right now, but you need to know that you have to use it there. You see it shows up in a different color. So it's orange. It stands for a data type. Okay, and then this is just a name. You can give it any name you want. You can call it my font 1, font 1, or you can even just call it S if you want, or F even for font. We can do F1 for font 1. Okay, then here on the right side of that equal sign, we're going to put in create font. What kind of font do I want to create? I'm going to create a Century font. Okay, so the name of the font is going to have to go into the double quotation marks, and it turns out that is going to be a purple color there. Okay, and then I need to tell it the size of the font, so I'm going to make the size 25 for right now and put a semicolon right there. So there's the first step of using font and processing. Now we move on to the second step. The second step is to use the font, or tell the computer that you want to use that actual font. So the way that you do that is you put the command text font, and then in the parentheses you're going to use the name of the font that you created. The name of the font is F1, so I'm going to put F1 right here. Okay, you see F1 up here. I also put F1 down here. So this is telling the computer I want to use a text font, and I'm going to use font F1, which is Century, and it's 25 pixels big. Okay, large. So then that's step 2. Now we go on to step 3. Step 3 is to tell the program what you want to write, or what you want to show up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to use the text command to tell the computer that I want to put in some text. And what text I'm going to put in? I'm going to put in today is a school day. How about that? Today is a school day. So then we put that in the double quotation marks. It turns it purple as well. Now the next 2 numbers are going to tell where on the screen I want to put this text. Okay, so since my canvas is going to be 1000 by 1000, I go up here in the top and show you. See the size of my canvas is 1000 1000. You see that? If I go down, I'm going to put it exactly in the middle of the screen so we can see what's going on. And I put it at 500, 500. This is the X position right here. And this is the Y position of where I want that text to be at. So then I'm going to go ahead and just run it, and we'll see what it comes out. Okay. Here it is right here. Okay. Today is a school day. So it is 500 over on the X and 500 down on the Y. So the bottom of that, the bottom of the beginning of that text is on 500, 500. So let's make it bigger. So if we want to change the size, I'm going to change this number to 40. This is the size of the text right here. I'm going to change it to 40, and I'm going to run it again. So now it's even bigger, okay? Now it's even bigger. So it is working. Let's say we want to make it even bigger so you can see it better. So we change it to 75. Now it's so big that it's even off the screen. Okay, so we can't see all of it there, which is fine. We just need to go back and make it a little bit smaller. Let's try 50 and see if we can see all of that on the screen. Almost all of it. We just don't have the exclamation point at the end. So 50 is probably a little too big. Let's go to 45 and see what we see. There it is right there, okay? And the bottom of that text right there is at 500, 500, okay? So now, let's say you want to change the color of that text. We're going to use the fill command. I'm going to change it to the color green. So I put 0, 255, 0, and it puts in the color green for me there. See that? All right, let's say we want to use a different font. Okay, so there is another way to do a font as well. So I'm going to do this down below. I'm going to put a comment here. This is in order to load a font. All right. So the way that we do this is we use the data type as well, pfont. I'm going to call this font2, and I'm going to set it to load font. So this is another command that we can use to load the font. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the tools bar, to the create font. I click on that, and I'm going to choose one of these fonts that it has in here. I want to choose a pretty cool one. So let's say, let's try this one, Bell House 93. Except I don't want it to be 48. I want it to be 30. Let's move it to 30. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. So I press Control C. I click OK there, and it goes away. Then I'm going to put that, what I just copied, in the double quotation marks, and I'll put the file extension after what I copied. So you got to put that .vlw there so it knows which file type to load there. So it's going to load this font, and it's going to put it into my program. Okay. So that's the first step right there. The next step is going to be tell it which font you want it to use. So text font, font 2, and we're going to put it the same size that we used before, which is 30. Okay. Now we're going to tell it what we want to say. So let's say programming is cool. Now, where do we want it to be at? So let's put it above the other font that we did, above the other line that we have printed out there. So I'm going to put it at 250, 250. Okay, so let's go ahead and run that. And here's my font up here. It is at 250 and 250 right there. So there's where the font is right there. So let's make it a little bit bigger. We want to see it bigger. Let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to change this 30 to 50. This is the size of the font right there. Let's see if that just changes the font for, yeah, see, so it gets a lot bigger. Let's make that one red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this one with red. And there it is right there. And I run it, and now that font is going to be red right there. Programming is cool. Now let's say we want to change it to a different color, but we don't know the RGB value for the color, okay? So here's another thing you can do. You go to the Cool Tools menu, and you go down to Color Selector, okay? This is going to open the color selector here. Now we can choose whatever color we want. So let's say we want a nice purple color, something like that. Now it gives you the RGB values right here. Red is 222, green is 18, and blue is 250. So I'm going to put that in. 222, 18, and 250. So 222, 18, and 250. And that should make it come out that nice purple color. There it is right there. You see? Another thing you can do is you can put in the hexadecimal, okay? You put copy right here, then you can close that color selector, and you can paste that into the fill command. It's going to be hexadecimal. You don't know what the actual values are, but it does come out to be the same color, okay? So that is how fonts work in processing. If you would like to put some cool looking fonts, some cool looking text on your program, this is how you do it in the processing application, okay? So that's the end of this video, and then we'll move on to learning about decision-making statements in the next video. All right, guys, bye-bye.